sorry. We had some technical difficulties, but we should be good to go now. Our friend William, unfortunately, is not going to be able to play with us tonight. He had some technical issues, but we're going to press on without him. So we will continue forward. In Sunday night's episode of All Hallows Eve, we ended with a very daunting and sorrowful shot of all of our characters as they try to cope with the false Hydra that took over down in Gloom, right? That was the name of it, Gloom?
Yes.
Yep.
So today, I think we start anew. We start anew. Why do you make me do these things?
I'm sorry.
I'm having a blank right now.
Settings, clear current
I got
check.
it. Yep, I got it.
Okay.
I should have done it. Cool. All right. Yeah. So, as I was saying, we start a new day this morning in Hallows. It is it's bright outside, and it's a nice cool like fall weather, maybe in like the 70s, like low 70s, and things seem to be slightly better and was coping a bit more so than the night before. But I think we're going to open up with what everybody is doing. So Nicola, what do you think you would be doing this morning after dealing with your the false Hydra from the night before?
I probably woke up the same way I did last time, but I don all my armor. I'm probably a little more somber than what I usually am. Like, I'm usually very outgoing and obnoxious and loud.
Right.
But today he's probably a little down. He just realized that he lost his wife that he was able to forget somehow. And like with new characters, I feel like he wakes up and like all of his friends that he also made in this journey are just gone now.
That's really sad, actually.
So like he's like on his own right now, and he swore that he was going to stop any more monsters that were in Hallow or Gloom. So like now he's got this mission and he's on his own to do this mission right now. So he's probably a little down. He probably goes to like the tavern at like 10 in the morning and just drinks his day away.
Okay, cool. So we'll get more into that. So next, I think, Frederick Krueger, tell us a bit about how your morning starts and what all you do.
Well, after raiding a village off to the south, he comes up and is we're in Gloom, right?
So we're in Hallows, but you could.
Okay.
Gloom is like an extension. It's like a lower city of Hallows.
It's the lower city, yeah.
So he goes to Gloom and goes to the tavern and just starts drinking because he's had a long day. He really didn't sleep because of all of the raiding. He hates Dragonborn, and so he had just gotten back from a Dragonborn village and was just demolishing everything and was tired of it. So he decided to retire to the tavern and get some energy back.
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. And lastly, Balthazar. What's an old Dragonborn like you do nowadays?
Well, Balthazar is kind of old and he's got some kinks in his joints, so he kind of slowly gets up from his the little corner he has in Gloom. He gathers his things. He puts his hood up, grabs his quarterstaff, and walks to the I guess you could say the square of the upper city, and kind of has a cup, just asking for some change.
Cool. So, I think then while he's doing his change bit, off in Hallows, I'm assuming that, I'm sorry, your names are Nicola and Frederick. I got to remember these names.
I feel you.
Nicola and Frederick are both at the same bar. Or do you think you would be at two separate bars?
Well, where's
Yeah, is
Nicola's house?
is
Where's his house
Nicola
at? Because I would assume he'd be the one closest to his house.
Yeah, that I would go to the bar that is closest to my house. Yes.
Okay, and then you went to the one specifically in Gloom, right?
Mostly, yeah, because he doesn't like upper people. He doesn't like people of higher class, so he'd rather stick it with the lowers.
Gotcha. So I believe we named that one the Jack-o'-lantern, right?
Yes, we
Yeah, I
did.
think so.
Okay. So
What brilliant DM came up with that?
that's okay. So our friend not Balthazar, Frederick is at the Jack-o'-lantern tavern, and our friend Nicola is getting smashed at the Pumpkin Spice Tavern. Yes.
That sounds upper class for sure.
Right, doesn't it? Yeah. I was like, so I think we probably get like this bit of we're gonna fade in on Nicola in the bar talking like what do you think you're doing? Are you just getting hammered away?
Yeah, I'm probably just drinking and like sitting at the bar, like thinking of like what my next move is, because I have a feeling that there's something more to this problem in Hallows and Gloom, and I made that promise, and I don't break my promises.
Gotcha.
And
So
I want to avenge my fallen wife. I want to find my missing friends wherever they may be.
yeah, so I think while you're sitting there, what is Nicola's favorite poison? Is it just an ale?
Probably, yeah. Probably
It's
just
something
ale.
simple. Okay, so I think after a few drinks, the barmaid, who's also the owner, she like comes up and she sees your glass is empty, and you hear like a little like pitter patter as she steps up like on a couple of like footsteps, and out pops a short halfling female, and she says, "Is that all for you, honey?"
You can just fill her up again.
And she goes, "All right, sounds like a deal to me." And like she's like this lady, she's like middle-aged. She has like a big mole on like her chin, and she definitely sounds like she smokes a pack of cigarettes a day. But she's only about 3.5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets down, she fills it up, and she goes, 2 gold for your troubles.
I take out the 2 gold and probably like an extra one for her, and she's like, "There's some for your troubles."
And then she's like, "Oh yes, Miss Shirley's gonna get something nice with this," and puts it in her like pocket. And you probably like hear her like walk through like the back. There's like some like door to like the kitchen area, and she's like, she probably like you hear like her just yelling at the chefs that are in the back that are not like working as fast as she wants. She runs a very tight ship. And I mean, if you're not taking much notice, you're probably just drinking your day away. I think that's probably all you get right now. And we'll pan over to Balthazar. So you're out in the streets. You are also in Gloom, correct?
No, I made my way from Gloom to the upper city.
Okay, so you are okay. So then, for this scene, what we'll do is you will be standing outside of the Pumpkin Spice Tavern, and you're kind of like you're just doing your looking for change thing, right?
Yep, just kind of like spare change.
Yeah.
Anything you have would be great.
And a young quirky little character comes up to you, and they say, "Hiya, Mister. What do you need the change for?"
It's my business.
He goes,
I gotta eat, huh?
He goes, "Well, I mean, it is my change I'm giving you, though, isn't it?"
That's a fair point. I can't dispute that.
And he goes, "How about I take you for a meal inside the tavern over there?"
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
And he goes, "Great. My name's Frenchie." And he sticks his hand out to you to shake your hand.
I'm Balthazar, and this like older dragonborn like claw comes out to shake his hand lightly.
Yeah, and he like he grips it and goes, "Oh, that's quite a shake you got there. Let's get in there. It's gonna be terrible rain later. I can feel it."
His golden claws kind of shimmer in the torchlight.
And he probably says something like, he's like, "You got all that gold on you, and you need my money? Strange
Just
times here."
swing.
And he like hops his way over to the Pumpkin Spice Tavern.
And I slowly kind of like follow him
Oh my
in.
gosh, he's the big version of Yoda.
And so like he opens the door for you, and he goes, "Old people first."
Thank you, son. He's kind of like
And then
makes my way into the tavern.
he's like, "Oh, Shirley," and this old.
I can't stand you playing halflings. Oh my god. I can't stand it.
So she comes running around. She goes, "Ugh, Frenchie, what do you want?" And he says, "I'll take 2 of the biggest meals that we can get. One for me and one for the big guy over here. He's homeless."
Big oof.
Be a home, son.
And she, so they have like this brief conversation, and then in the back you hear, like as she's going to the back, you hear, "Roscoe, gent, get us the big platters, 2 of them, stat." And they're like, you hear like, "Yes, ma'am." And like you can hear like them whipping things up in the kitchen, and then from right there, I think you sit down, and Frenchie like waddles his way into the booth, sits down, his feet don't touch the ground, and he says, "So, tell me your life story." And then we'll pan over to Frederick inside of the jack-o'-lantern. So what is Frederick doing? Like, so you just hanging out? Is it like are you guys like getting drunk with other like soldiers, or what's the deal?
No, Frederick is a warlord, so he doesn't interact with those that are beneath him, except for he doesn't. Let me rephrase that. He doesn't interact with those that are beneath him under his charge. So he'll go and interact with low civilians, but not his own people. And so he's really just sitting in a corner right now, kind of just drinking and eating and getting back some energy. And yeah, that's what he's doing. He's drinking.
Gotcha. So I think then if you're just drinking and hanging out, there's probably like some like other like low life people here. You know, Gloom is not like the best place to be late in the evening or at any time really. There's probably some people that are either drunk or asleep in some of the booths. There are some people playing like some dice games, some people playing spades. But more importantly, I think this is when, as you're like trying to enjoy your meal, a guard comes running in, and him and a couple of other people are like, "Hup, hup, 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 hup." Poof, they open the door, and they're you guys okay?
Why do we let him DM? Why?
I don't know.
Why do we let him do this?
I don't know. Oh my god.
And
I love it.
one of the guys, the guy that probably came in first, he comes in and he says, "On account of the Queen, we are here to find Frederick Krueger. Are you present?" Is that a yes or a no?
Well, if he's not present, he's not going to reply.
Okay, yeah, so he goes, "All right, looks like we'll have to do this the hard way." And then like he like dons like he like pulls out like a horn, and like he plays this like loud ass noise with the horn, and like 10 more guards come in, and now the guards are playing like ID everybody, and so like they're walking up to people like, "Can I please see your driver's license? Can I please see your driver's license? Can I please see your like looking for everybody in the tavern." So are you gonna try to like dip out? What's your plan?
I'm going to try and well, hold on. Give me a second.
Okay.
gotta.
I'm gonna fireball the bar.
It's literally
No,
gonna
I'm
look like a
gonna try
jack-o'-lantern
and-
in here.
I'm gonna intimidate the guard that asks me. I'm gonna intimidate him into not asking for my ID.
All right, yeah. So he walks over, and it's like probably like a fresh recruit, maybe like 18 to 20-year-old human.
Yeah.
And he comes over and goes, "Hey, sir, I'm gonna need to see your ID real quick. We're just trying to find some person. I'm sure it'll be no problem to you, will it?"
It is gonna be a problem for me. Just move on to the next person.
And he's like, "Well, sir, this is my job."
I don't care what your job is.
And he's like, "Oh, my mom was so happy I took this job."
You think I give a crap about your mom?
He's like, "Oh, I guess not." And then if you want to just roll your intimidation check. A 10. So, so he's like, "I don't care if you don't know my mom. She's a great lady. I'm going to need your ID, sir."
All right, I'm the guy you're looking for. What do you want?
And so the other guy
Roll
walks. Guy- Hey, it's a good first roll of the session, guys.
Great first roll. A 2.
So yeah, so the guy comes over and he says, "You're Frederick Krueger?
Yeah, I'm who you're looking for.
The Queen wants to speak with you back at the top of Hollows. We can take you there, or you can just come this evening around dinner time."
I'll come by myself. I don't like being around you.
And he says, sounds good. It's kind of rude, but all right." And, he
God, we're so passive.
and he's like, "All right, boys, we're out of here. On to the next ones." Hup, 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 poof, as the door closes behind them.
God damn it. Oh,
Jesus.
man. What did I do to piss that guy off?
God.
Why was he so rude to me?
That's what they're saying the whole way back to wherever they're going. Was it something I said?
Yeah. The guy's like, I think the first
Not
the young
you, sir. He
kid,
insulted my mom.
the young kid is like looking over like the little like flip the tiny little notebook he's got that's like, "Ask for their ID." He's like reviewing, making sure he didn't do something wrong.
I followed all the steps, and he just insulted my mom.
And then like he's probably like walking, he goes, "Sometimes I really miss my mom." And, so then we'll probably fade back in. So Frederick has been told to go to go see the Queen this evening for dinner, and we fade back in. I'm sure Nicola is probably like nose deep in alcohol at this point if it started on his foot.
Nicola is thoroughly smashed.
Yeah, so I think that happens, and then we also get like the scene of like this halfling lady. The her name, you guys know, is Shirley.
Mm-hmm. The bar?
Yeah, the barkeep. Her name is Shirley Temple.
I'm
Wow.
leaving. The stream's over. I'm done. God, we're not gonna get anywhere.
She comes out. She hands the 2 plates to Balthasar and to Frenchie, and she says, "Now eat quick and get out. I don't like you very much, Frenchie." And then we go over to Nicola, and Nicola's like probably like barely holding on to his seat, and she goes, "And that's enough for you."
He probably is like, "Well, fine," and he like, I feel like he stands up and he slams his cup on the bar and he goes, "All right, who needs protection? Be slain. It's my job. I'm ready to do it."
I think that's when Frenchie goes, "Oh, I need protection. That lady is scary."
And I look at her and I go, "You leave that kid alone. 10 gold pieces, kid."
And he's like, "How about some food?"
"You're gonna give me food?"
"Yeah."
"Sure." And I go and like plop down right next to him, like probably almost on top of him.
Yeah, and I think that's when he goes, "Shirley!" And
I definitely like, oh my god.
he goes, I'm gonna need another one of those big breakfasts, please. And she's like, oh shit. And so she goes back, same thing as before. And this is when Frenchie like looks at the both of you and he says, all right, now, you don't think I really just did this on coincidence, did I? See, I work for the Queen, and she said, Nicola, that you are one of the best fighters she knows, but looking at you now, and he like
I am a
smacks your
great
he like smacks your face a
swordsman.
little bit. He's like, you're not looking so good today. And Balthasar, well, it must have been a while since she's seen you.
We go way back.
And he goes, well, nevertheless, I need you guys tonight at dinner at her house. She has a mission for you.
Fair enough.
I'm in.
I'll listen.
And then he says, good. Then I'm going to sit here and enjoy my meal. And he like goes to town on this food. It's like a dog in like a mixture of wet like water and food. It's splashing up everywhere. It's like he's like an animal while he eats.
And, Balthazar's kind of sitting there and like, you ever watch like old folks eat? He's kind of like using his like claws to kind of like cut the sausage and like one at a time, like a little bit.
I have to
And
believe
kind of
like
pokes at the eggs a little bit, and then
yeah, and when he's like looking down, there's like pieces of there's like bits of egg yolk and
some of it
orange
kind of
juice,
comes out of
like,
his mouth.
it's
He's just,
hitting him in the face from Frenchie eating so aggressively. And then you finally get your meal, Nicola, and he says,
"You're
well,
hungry,
I'll be
you're
on my way. Boop! And like he snaps his finger and like a plume of smoke happens and he's gone from the table. And so now the two of you are just sitting across from each other without Frenchie.
What did he call you?
My name's Nicola. Beetlejuice. Call me Nicola or Beetlejuice, whatever.
How you feeling, Nicola? You look like shit.
Yeah, I feel like shit, and you're not one to talk there, buddy.
Oh, I've lived a long life.
Yeah, I wish I had lived a long life, so
You got plenty of years ahead of you.
yeah, hopefully. What brings you to Hallows?
No, I spend most of my days on the streets these days, so just get
You
some
need-
loose change for some food, and then go back to sleep. Just
You need-
simple life.
You need a place to stay? I have an extra room now.
If you're willing, I would be very appreciative.
Well, after we're done with whatever mission the Queen sends us on, the last one sucked, by the way. But after that, you can come stay with me.
Sounds good. There was some goofy shit going on in Gloom.
Yeah, some scary four-headed thing. Tried to eat me and my friends. Killed my wife. Ate half of her. Yeah. It was fun.
That sounds pretty shitty.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty.
Hopefully this next one doesn't go as awfully as that.
Hopefully.
One can only wish for things to go right, but they always go wrong, no matter how well you plan.
Agreed. I've learned that the hard way, especially these past couple days.
Well, I haven't fought in a long time, so we'll see how that goes.
It'll be good training to get you back into shape.
No, I'm in great shape, son. I just haven't fought in a long time.
Whatever you say, buddy. And I like pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, Charlie,
Yeah.
are you sure I can't have another one?
Another what?
Just one ale?
No, you didn't need none of that.
How about an orange juice or a coffee for the man?
Yeah, we can get that. Jen, get the orange juice. You hear, yes, ma'am. And out comes like 2 large glasses of orange juice. And Jen says, sorry it took so long. She's just really scary. And he like slides the orange juice. And he is also a halfling. And I think like we all get like a shot as he runs back in. All of the like things to cook in are all like 2 or 3 feet shorter than what you would be used to because it's an all halfling staff in the back. So all the ovens and everything are just way smaller so they can reach.
Nice.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. So they, so you guys have all been told this evening to go meet with the queen. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before then? Is there anything you guys need?
Nope.
Oh no, I wear my armor everywhere. I'm good to go.
Okay. So I think then from there, like we get like one of those like quick shots of like the sun immediately dropping into like evening time, and it makes that same noise.
Yep.
And you guys are all walking up like this grand staircase up to the castle, as I would imagine all 3 of you have been there before.
All of us?
Yeah, all 3. Yeah.
Okay. Can Frederick say some stuff real quick?
Yeah, I would say you guys aren't like great acquaintances, but you guys have all been there on your own accord for something.
Okay. What are you doing here? Filthy dragonborn.
Who said that?
Next to Balthazar, you definitely hear, oh shit.
I said that.
The wet dog in the middle of the.
Me, a wet dog. A wet dog. How dare you? I'm a warlord.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Well, that got
So how's the weather? Yeah, so I think then before we continue this one, we'll continue this when Michael gets back. But there's probably like some guards that come out and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Beetlejuice, it's so nice to see you here today." And like, one of them,
Please stop yelling.
I think that if you want, Balthazar, make a perception check.
Balthazar's not here.
Balthazar's not
Oh,
here.
sorry, Frederick.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
boy. Perception is one of my worst categories. I have
Okay.
a -1.
So you don't realize it, but the audience realizes this is the same kid that you were super rude to in the tavern, and now he's like, "Hey, Mr. Beetlejuice, how are you?" And you're just like, "Shut up." He's like,
It's not like I don't want to talk to him, but like I'm like probably like I have a headache, and even if he's talking normally, like shh.
right. And so he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I've heard all these great things about you, and I just wanted to say hello." And he like walks away, and he's like looking. He like pulls out the notebook again. He's like, "These people lie. All these rules are garbage."
Oh god.
So sorry.
No, you're okay.
Wife needed something.
It's all good. And so if you want to continue where we left off, you had just called Frederick a wet dog.
Yes. Yes, I did.
A wet dog! How dare you? I'm a warlord.
Of what? You're alone.
My army. I
There's
chose
that.
to leave it.
So you're not a warlord.
Not currently, but my
Okay.
title is warlord. You
Mhm.
may address me as such.
I won't.
Warlord. Sorry.
She's calling me again.
Oh shit.
Oh man. So I think that's when
We'll just continue.
like it's probably like this like careless banter the entire time till finally we walk into like the grand throne room, and the queen stands before the 3 of you, and she says, "Ah, Nicola, Balthazar, and Frederick, I'm so glad you guys could make it this evening." And she like walks down very elegant like, and she puts out a hand to shake all three of your hands.
I definitely kiss it again.
Okay.
I shake it reluctantly.
It's like a high five handshake.
Well, it's
like
more
a-
of he doesn't like to bow to anyone, and so having someone in the room that has a higher standard than he does, he's very reluctant to give up that power, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And then finally, the queen is
Back.
We're talking to the queen now.
Yeah, the queen. Yeah. So I just
We
decided that it
we
would be like
bantered.
some banter until we got there, but we got there. So, the queen is just like put her hand out to shake your hand, and she's
To
happy
me?
that you. Yeah, she's happy that the three of you made it here.
I'll take a knee and kiss her ring. Good to see you again.
Yeah, and she like chuckles a bit, and then she says, "If you would just
Stuck up.
follow."
I nudge Frederick and say, "This guy knows what he's doing."
He's a stuck up, is what he is.
And she says, "If you would just follow me, and some of my other guests will meet us here in the dining room." And she like starts to walk with her guards to the dining room area, like the dining area.
Follow.
Is there going to be wine?
And she goes, "Oh yes, there will be plenty of wine."
I don't think I need any more.
I think you should continue fighting with the hobgoblin buddy over there, and walk away.
He's all noise.
And so when you guys enter this room, there's like a large, like your typical like king and queen like royalty table filled with food, plates and everything well presented, candles on the table, and there's probably at least 20 seats prepared.
20 seats prepared. Okay.
Yes. And so you guys all pick your spots. She sits down to the end where she would usually sit. And she like just talks a bit to you guys, maybe telling some like old stories of how like she knows each of you individually. And I have a feeling like Frederick is very like not embarrassed, but like uncomfortable that she's telling stories about you being like a good person that helped her at some point.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And
His whole world revolves around war. So anything that's not revolving around war, he hates. He doesn't like it.
so as like more people come in, I think Kyle, you're our only returning player from last night. You see Winona come in. You probably see Tortellini. You also see just some other adventurers you might know from like past experiences and stuff as they fill this room. And then finally, the last person to come in is Grim. And he
I
takes a
definitely
seat.
give all three of them like the biggest hug ever.
Yeah, they so I think then like, you know, Winona, she gives you a big hug. We'll do Winona's last. So
Oh no, it's at the same time.
Oh, you give all three of them like one big hug.
Group hug.
Yeah, so I think they all like come in for this big like embrace, but I think Winona slips in a subtle butt squeeze that she definitely pins on somebody else.
Jesus.
I get up, and I kind of like walk over. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, you son of a bitch! And I go up to Tortellini, and I'm like, it's been a long time, friend.
You know Tortellini?
Yeah, we fought together a long time ago.
He's a good man to fight with.
He is.
And Jacob, you're welcome to act out Tortellini in this scene.
Long time no see, brother.
It's been a while.
What have you been up to, old timer?
Just kicking it on my own. The streets have been kind to me recently, so.
That's good. We just we had to deal with a lot of blood in the streets, and that was not cool.
I saw that. That was weird. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it was there was a four-headed false hydra that had a spell over us, and it was not cool. There was a lot of gore.
I've never encountered one of those in my travels, but that sounds awful.
It was not fun.
Anyway, we probably should get to this meeting, but it's good seeing you, brother.
Let's get to it. Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, so everyone sits down, and this is when the three of you notice a small familiar gnome come into the room, like behind like this huge door. He closes it, and he has like a little like it looks like one of those like what are the big like the big things that cheerleaders hold to shout to do like their chants with, like a
blow
pom pom.
No, not the pom pom. The
megaphone.
Yeah, like the megaphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was technically a megaphone because there's no electronic thing, but anyways, he like holds it and he goes, hear ye, all rise for the queen."
Oh my god. For the love of Lathander, could you stop yelling?
Oh. Wow. Even my old ears can hear you.
And so the queen like stands up, and I imagine like everyone else starts to stand up, and she says like, "Good evening, fellow adventurers. You've been brought here for this feast as a token of my gratitude for all of the adventures you've done for me this year and all that you will continue to do. Please be seated and enjoy the food that we've presented." And like she sits down, and you can kind of see like people like moving the food around to each other. And she's like kind of getting everyone like in a good mood. And Frenchie probably walks up to, let me just roll a dice. Let's see. Okay, good. Frenchie walks up to Nicola.
Oh, yay.
And he goes, "Nicola,
Yes.
I can't really reach the food, but I'm quite hungry. Could you give me just a bit of the lamb right there, please? That would be so delightful."
I slice off like the smallest piece of lamb and I hand it to him.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, I mean, I do need to watch my figure. This is pretty big for a gnome. Thanks, buddy." And like he like walks away with this tiny piece of lamb. And so then so we get down to business. She's now like she's cutting the the chit chat, and she's like, "Okay, now let's get down to business." And she goes, "All is not well in Hollows, as you guys can tell. I mean, last night was probably one of the worst attacks we've had in here in many, many years. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do some investigatory work. Is that the word? I don't know. To expunge the evils that have been plaguing us this past few months." She later goes on and she divides everyone up into groups to go do some research of their own. And she tasks Nicola, Frederick, and Balthazar. You guys have been tasked now that there is a known cave that Nicola, you might remember. There's like a known cave outside of Hollows that has like an evil magic looming around it, and it needs to be dealt with. She fears that it has some connection to the false Hydra. She sent guards out there before and like other like soldiers and military forces, but none have returned.
Of course, it would mean the world to me to rid this place of some more evil. If it stops what from happening to me from happening to anybody else, let's go.
And she says, "Absolutely, but probably in the morning would be best."
That's a good point. Good point.
And she says,
"You need some sleep, my friend."
Well, fine.
And so after like a few drinks and a hefty meal, she says, I'm going to go to my chambers for the evening, but feel free to stay with the guards and discuss your plans as late as you like. have a great evening. And like she like leaves with her like small group of guards to the next room, to like her chambers for the evening.
I can't believe that she's putting me on this quest with one of you.
That's rude. I'm
Better
just
to me
I'm
again.
just a human.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you, my friend, you are fine. I'm talking about that disgusting thing over there.
can I see his arms?
Yeah, you can definitely see his arms.
Yeah, can I see his scales?
Yeah, I would think that scales are like a pretty noticeable feature.
No, you're obviously projecting.
It's because of one of you that I am the way that I am.
But
You
it's
think
not
I wanted
because
to
of
be
me.
this way?
It's not because of me, though.
All of you are the same. What does it matter?
Oof.
My chromatic brethren are unspeakable, but us metallic are quite respectable.
I will say I haven't had much to deal with as far as the metallic group goes, but you're still all the same. I don't believe you.
Well, I'll show you.
Okay, I'll keep you at an arm's distance at least.
Guard captain, come here.
Yeah, he walks around and goes, "How can I help you, sir?"
We might need a small squad of your guards. Not your greatest, but some smart ones, maybe.
A small thing of guards, you say?
Mm.
I think then these guys should work. And he like leans over and he points to them, and you see probably 3 guardsmen come over, and they're like, they probably go, "Balthasar, how can we help you, sir?"
I want you to accompany us to the cave, just in case anything gets hairy, so we don't get overwhelmed.
And they're like, "Absolutely, sir. We'll meet you in the morning, sir." And
Very good.
one of them, like as they all like head off, the one in there, I need Nicola and Frederick to make a perception check. Nope. No. Guys, these are not good. These are not good rolls.
Yeah,
I have a -1 for perception.
So, this the kid in the back, he's like, "Yes, I'm gonna show these people exactly what I'm capable of." And it's the kid that's been there in every scene so far.
He's gonna be the Carmine brother of the fucking group.
No kidding.
God dang it. Okay.
And yeah, so I think that all happens. It's late in the evening. You guys have now a full belly of ale and food. You see your friends, and I think Winona, Grimm, and Tortellini, they walk past you, and they're like, "Bye, Nicola. Good luck on your mission. We've got to go. Rumor has it there's some werewolves around in the lower city, so it looks like we'll have to go sniff those out."
I definitely laugh at their pun.
And yeah, and I think Grimm's like, "Oh God," and he walks out the door, and he's like, "Hey, Nicola, don't die on me."
I was gonna say I stop Grim, and if he stops me, I'm like, "You don't die on me either, friend." And I say, "And take care of my sister-in-law and my friends."
And he says,
Tortellini says to Balthazar, "Well, I guess I'll see you in another 100 years."
If
Yeah.
you live that long.
Hey now, you're the old one.
Stay safe, brother.
You too.
and then yeah, so everybody I think is all exiting the castle, and as you do, It's Frenchie that's letting everybody out of the castle, and he's like, "Good evening, good night, bye, see you later, bye, bye, see ya, bye, Nicola, bye, Frederick, bye, Balthazar, bye, Grim, Winona, I'll see you tomorrow," and like all this stuff until everybody leaves, and then he's holding the door open where you can just see his face, and he goes, "Toodaloo," and closes the door.
As we're walking out, like once we get like probably like out to like the courtyard, I definitely put my arms around Frederick and Balthazar. I'm like, all right, guys, listen. You both are freaking ugly. And we have to work together now. So I'm going to need you to get nice and close. Get real friendly overnight, all right? And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
How can I trust one of his kind? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll show you. You learn to trust me.
I certainly hope so if we're going to be going to battle together.
I gotta put my life on it.
I'll hold you to that.
Very well.
And I think like right there on the other side, Frenchie is listening through the door to you guys talking, and he goes, "Do I smell a friendship? Oh no!" And I think right there is where we will take our first break, and we will be back in a few minutes.